Hello YouTube, this is Kuzil and welcome back to episode 7 of KuzilCraft's mod pack playthrough. And today we're going to get started with Mekanism. I'm really excited to share with you guys about how Mekanism works. It's a really cool mod, there's a lot to it. It's going to be one of those mods that we take a lot of time on. I've got a building started over here. It's nothing special, it's just a big square or a couple squares put together. But we're gonna make it look cool as we go. But I wanted to, in the end of last episode, I said there is another feature to these storage drawers that I wanted to show you today, and you may notice something a little different. If you look at the top of each of these, there's like a little keyhole. So if you make this key, and the recipe is just one of those upgrade templates that we made the other day, 2 of these gold ingots and a gold nugget. And it lasts forever. And what it does is it locks it so that if I were to take all of these, let's say that there's this laboratory block in here. If I were to take all of those out, see how it says laboratory block is 0? That means there's 0 on there. Now if I were to right click this with a key and then pull all those out, see how the picture disappears? Well, now that lets my inventory system tell these that, or tell the chest that it can put anything here. Well, if I don't want that to happen, I lock it. So I put whatever I want in there, and then I lock it. And that's it's locked when that keyhole shows up. So it's locked, unlocked. All right. So now I can take all of these out. Now there's 0 laboratory blocks in there, but that space is reserved for laboratory blocks. It's very cool. So we're going to be done with storage drawers. Another thing I wanted to show you, so you know how my previous chisels were made out of iron? Well, you can make them out of diamond and they last considerably longer. So it's a stick with 1 diamond, and I just wanted to show you that. Okay, I lied. We're not done with storage drawers. I forgot about this. This is packing tape. Okay, so now if I were to come up here and let's break this over here. So there's 26 marble in here. If I break this, it drops all the marble. That's no fun, especially when you got something like these over here. They've got a ton of stuff on them, several stacks, or cobblestone. You know, you've got 38 stacks of cobblestone in here. So what the tape does, packing tape, oops, shoot. I rolled too far. Okay. What the packing tape does is, stop it. I put the marble in there, and then you right click on it with your packing tape, and now I can pick it up, and it keeps all the items in there. See, there's contents sealed within. So if I put this back down, all my stuff is still there. Cool, huh? So the packing tape is real easy. It's just 3 paper and one of the slimes of any kind. So we had plenty of those, especially from our pickaxe and stuff like that. Okay, so now this is what's called a builder's wand. It is just, it can be made out of, here, let's go to better builder's wands. It can be made out of stone. It can be made out of iron or diamond. And there's these ones that don't break, and I am not going to make one of those. Yeah, so not right now anyway. So now the difference is, if you look at the tooltip here, it says max 5 blocks, and I'll show you what that means when I come out here. Okay, let's say that I wanted to, I'm just gonna dig up a bunch of this right here, right? And let's say I wanted to place all these down. Well, instead of having to place them down one by one, I could just, I point, wherever I point my cursor at, that's where it wants to place the blocks. Like right now, it'll try and place all the blocks I have. I have 10 blocks on top there, but if I place them here, it will place all 10 of them there. See that? Cool. So what this tooltip means is, when it says maximum 5 blocks, that means it'll only go 5 blocks long before you have to do it, before you have to, it'll place only 5 blocks at a time, basically. This is 9 blocks at a time, and this is, practically infinite. So it made building this floor really quick, really easy. It makes building large buildings quickly very nice. So another thing that I wanted to show you before we get started in today's episode is I built a little, I'm going to keep the path, but what I have set here is temporary rail system that goes over to the village, because I want to be able to trade with the villagers for some emeralds instead of having to try and find them right now. I mean, once I get ways of collecting ores without having to actually mine them, then I'll probably use that. But for now, all I've got is this little track. It takes us over to the village, and I can trade. I've done one trade with paper, but there's like 100 blacksmiths up there, and so all they want is coal. Apparently, the town wants to start a coal energy plant or something. Who knows? So on this track here, I did a powered rail every ooh, that was close. Every time there was every time right before I went up a block, and then before and after these curved sections, just like that. And that provided plenty. All right, now there's one thing I wanted to show you about Minecraft 1.10. It adds in an auto jump. So right now all I'm holding is forward, and sometimes I don't really like it, but getting up this hill is really nice. Not that I have to spam the space bar a million times, and eventually I'll put stairs up here since I was the one that requested it. So if you don't like it, or if you don't have it and want to have it, so just hit escape. Go to options, controls, and then up here on the top it's the auto jump. So if you want to turn that off, just make sure it reads off. Now up here, last time we were up here, I looked at a bunch of these blacksmiths, and I wanted to see what they had to trade for. And there was one guy, I thought it was like 19 coal for 1 emerald. I thought that was amazing. See if I can find him. Are you? Nope, you're pretty close though. 21? I'll remember you. Should name you with a name tag or something. Oh, 16. You're probably the best. I don't know if it gets better than 16. He wants leather. I don't have leather. I don't need any more over there. Here we go. Look at how many of these guys there are. Like, so many of them. 20, you're pretty good. There's the 19 guy I was thinking of. 22. Yeah, let's use the 16 guy. What are you? Yeah. Okay. You, my friend. That's a good deal. I'm just gonna keep trading until he doesn't want to trade anymore. All right. Good. That's a terrible trade. I want to remember you. 16. That's amazing. So we just got 7 emeralds right there for a stack of coal. Eat your heart out, equivalent exchange. If people say equivalent exchange is OP, come on. Vanilla mechanics. OP. I'm just kidding. Okay. Anyway. Yeah, I don't have any kind of equivalent exchange. Normally I play with like a Project E equivalent exchange system. Just because I like the concept of having like a combined creative / survival put together. So like I use the equivalent exchange for building stuff. And for those of you who don't know what equivalent exchange is, let's say that I have cobblestone that's assigned the value of 1, right? Well, so then you got to figure out, whoever made the mod had to figure out how many cobblestone do you need to have in order to equal the rareness or the value of like a diamond, for example. Well, somebody came up with like 4,000 as the number, so you have to have 4,000 cobblestone. If you have that many cobblestone, then you can trade in for 1 diamond. stuff like that. And like every Minecraft block, vanilla Minecraft block has a number that's attached to it, and you can kind of trade up. So like 4 gold is equal to 1 diamond, or 4 iron is equal to 1 gold, and stuff like that. So anyway, we're not using any of that stuff today. So, but that's that. And I love that I can just come into this chest and just dump stuff. The rest of this I'm going to keep up here. In the meantime, I'm going to get the materials together to start Mekanism, and then I'll be right back, and I want to show you guys where to start, how to start, and yeah, we'll be right back. Okay guys, I think I'm back. I think I'm ready. And by I think I'm back means I think I'm ready. So what I'm going to do is show you kind of how to start with Mekanism, right? So we come here to Mekanism, spelled with a K instead of CH. And we're going to come down here until we find, where is it at? It's on this page right here, the metallurgic infuser. This is going to be like the first thing you make with Mekanism, unless of course you made the basic fluid tank with me. So the metallurgic infuser, you're going to come over here, and you notice neither one of these are the metallurgic infuser, so we're going to go over until we find it. There it is, page 5. So that's just 4 pieces of iron, 2 furnaces, 2 redstone, and then this osmium ingot, which is Mekanism's own ore. It's indigenous to Mekanism. So we're going to make 2 of those. We're going to have 4 of these, 2 of those, and 1 of these. All right. So let's go stick this down by our energy. This is going to take RF. Most everything in this mod pack takes RF. So this fills up. This is where the energy goes. There's a lot going on here. I'll explain it as we go. So let's make sure that this stays pseudo-full. Okay, so one of the first things we're going to make is steel. So to make steel, we're going to need iron and coal, or charcoal, either one. Okay, so this over here is what you're going to infuse into the metal that goes in the red. So your infusion materials go in purple. See how the box is purple? And your metals are going to go in the box that's red. Okay, so we're going to put that there, and then we're going to put a piece of coal there. See, it gave us 10 carbon for that one piece of coal. It's going to use all 10 carbon to infuse this iron ingot to make this enriched iron. Okay, well that's not quite steel yet, so you have to do it one more time. So you take that enriched iron, take it, put it there, put another piece of coal. So in total, this takes 20 carbon per iron ingot to make 1 piece of steel. So, or you could say 2 pieces of coal and 1 iron ingot to make 1 piece of steel. So that gives us steel dust. So then we need to take this steel dust, stick it in our furnace over here. Our furnace will cook it up, kick it over into our chest, and that's our first piece of steel. Yeah, not too bad. Not too bad. So I'm going to make, let's see, I'm going to need 1, 2, 3, 4. We'll get those two going. If you ever want to know how many pieces you can make, take the number in here, divide it by 2. So I should be able to make 2 more pieces after this gets done. Maybe I misclicked. I might have clicked 1 too many times. So this tells me I have 1 too many in there, yeah. Or 3 too many. So I can put 1 more piece of coal in there and put 2 more pieces. Yeah. So take this, divide it by 2, or by 20, and that's how many ingots you can make. Oh, and of course I'm forgetting already that I gotta put the enriched iron back in. I just told you that too. Okay, so that's perfect right there. Perfect. All right. So just as long as you know 2 pieces of coal per iron ingot gets you steel iron. And this is that only enriched iron? Well, gets you a piece of steel. There we go. Now we're getting what we need. Okay, so once you've got that going, you're going to want to make something called a crusher. Because if you if you try and go with any kind of other energy than what I'm telling you to start now with, since you have this coal generator, use the coal generator, because it's going to be better than what you can make starting off with Mekanism. Alright, and then what we're going to do is, like I said, we're going to make this crusher. So we're going to come in here, and we're going to come over to page 2, and then, oh, we don't know how to make any of this stuff. So let's click on the steel casing to see what it takes, and of course we're going to flip through here. So this takes 4 pieces of steel, an osmium ingot, and then 4 pieces of glass. Well, we have some glass, I believe. Let's go get some glass. Now let's see if we can find our glass. This is one thing I don't like about this kind of system. I think those are panes. Yep. There we go. Let's see. 1, 2, 3, 4. Perfect. For some reason, when I left click, it's double clicking for some reason. I don't know why it's doing that. Okay, we have our pieces of steel. We got plenty. Let's go to our crafting table and make this machine casing. Notice how a lot of these mods use like a very basic like machine casing or machine chassis or something like that. It's kind of weird, I think, but it works. There we go. We've got our machine casing. Then we'll come back in here to the crusher, and oh, we got to make these basic control circuits. Let's see what makes those. So we're going to take our osmium ingots, and then instead of using coal here, we're going to use redstone. So let's come back to our metallurgic infuser, and this is 1 to 1. So 1 piece of osmium, 1 redstone, or 10 redstone. Okay, or 10. Yeah, it says 10 redstone, but it's 1 piece of redstone turned into 10 liquid redstone. I don't really know what that's supposed to represent. So we're gonna need 2 of those, correct? So let's put 1 piece of redstone, 1 iron ingot, or 1 osmium ingot. And that gives us another basic control circuit. So all in all, you're going to need probably 6 of these enrichment chambers, because it makes a bunch of different kinds of stuff. Now that we have our crusher here in just a second, you know what? I should just be using this. There we go. Now we've got a crusher. Cool. Now what are we going to do with the crusher? Well, we're going to take some of this plant life that we have tons of. Let's see. Let's grab these. And let's grab carrots, because I have not been farming carrots, but we have tons of carrots. So we're gonna put this kind of on top for now. We're gonna move all this in a little bit, and then we're gonna put our potatoes in here. And now the crusher is gonna take. It's kind of loud, isn't it? It's kind of. I like the noise, and I like the animations. It's like it's putting the potatoes in there, and it's crushing them down into this biofuel, and that's what we want. So we're going to take 2 of those is what we're going to need, and we're going to scroll down until we find this bio generator. Now we're going to need another one of these basic control circuits, so let's put 1 redstone, 1 osmium ingot, and then in the recipe here you'll notice that we also need this enriched alloy. Well, this is iron and redstone. So let's take that out, and we're going to need 2 of those. So this is another 1 to 1 ratio. So 1 redstone, 1 iron ingot will give you 1 enriched alloy. And we need 2 of those, so we put in 2 of each. We'll grab these out of here and put in our carrots. Just let those crunch down. Notice that the poison potatoes gave us 4 each. Let's see how many we get from the carrots. Yeah, they're going to give us 4 each as well. That's good. No, did I not grab it? I thought I grabbed it. My bad. Okay. Now that we have all of that, really not that many things. We're going to put this in here, and we're going to get that. Okay. Now the next thing we have to do is, okay, how do we get the power from the this biogenerator, which is going to let us use plant life, crush it down into biofuel for energy. Instead of having to use coal, which is very dirty, we're going to go green and use biofuel. Very cool, very cool. So how do we get the power from this to these other two machines? So I'm going to pick this up with a pickaxe. I'm going to kind of stop this, pick this up with a pickaxe, and then we're going to take a look at our power transfer options. Now, Mekanism itself has its own power transfer system. So let's actually, I'm going to stick this back down and make a couple more pieces yeah. So then we're going to need 8. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. A couple more pieces of steel is basically what I'm looking for there. So Mekanism has its own item transfer system, and it's really cool. You can transfer power here. See, so it says universal cable capacity is 3.2 kilojoules per tick. Okay, so let me take a second and explain ticks, because I've mentioned that a couple times now. There are 20 ticks, and that's like kind of how Minecraft tracks events. There are within Minecraft. So there are 20 of these events. Just think of them as snapshots. The game is looking at the code 20 times a second. And we call that a tick in Minecraft terms. So whenever something is in reference to blah, blah, blah per tick, that means that take that number times 20, and that's how many it's going to be per second. So if we look at here, this is going to transfer 3.2 thousand joules per tick. It sounds like a lot, but it's not. It's really not that a lot. So we come up here is 1264, and then this is the highest one that does 32. Well, we don't really know what a joule is. It's kind of what my Mekanism uses for power, but it can also use RF and a couple of the other things. So we're just going to pretend that everything's RF, and I'll show you how to just make sure that everything is in RF, so that way we keep it all kind of universal. Okay, so so this also, it says, if you look in here, if I hold, see what it says, hold left shift for details. RF, it transfers RF, EU, joules, and it tells you which mods use those. That's the universal cable. Okay, so then we have the mechanical pipe that transfers fluids, and then we have the pressurized tube that transports gases, and we've got the logistical pipe that does items and blocks and stuff like that. And then we've even got one here that does heat, which is kind of cool. So the way Mekanism does, and I'll show you kind of how these work. So let's stick these back in here. Mekanism, pretty much every other mod, if you put, let's say, your item transport pipe here, here, and here. So you're gonna transfer from this block all the way to like something sitting here. Okay. If I wanted to transport also fluid from this block all the way to something sitting here, I could not use the space in these 3 blocks because there's already a pipe there. So I'd have to bring out fluid maybe from the top, for example, and bring it all the way across to the top of this block. Well, Ender.io takes that system and it says, you know what, why not? Why can't we run more than one thing through the same space? So we have some, Ender.io has the ability of doing what they call conduits instead of pipes. So we send items through a conduit, and we have fluids through a conduit and power through a conduit, and we just kind of use it all in the same spot. So I'm going to kind of smelt these down and kind of show you what I mean. So let's make these universal cables. It's just taking 2 pieces of steel and a redstone. And then the item transport is going to be another one of these logistic things. Okay, we're going to pick that up. We're done with it. Okay, so then you take this basic control circuit, stick it between 2 pieces of steel, and there's our logistical transporter. So this, if you hold shift, this items and blocks, this is power. Okay. Now, if we look at Ender IO's conduits, come down here, there's 3 different tiers. So this is in RF, which is kind of what we want to stick with. 640 RF per tick. That means it's going to allow that much power to flow through every snapshot, every tick, which is a decent amount. This one does 5,000 though. Okay, so we're gonna go with this one. So this one's pretty easy to make. If you want to make it, it's just taking iron and redstone in one of these alloy smelters, and you get conductive iron. I lost my place. There we go, right here. This uses energetic alloy, which is glowstone, redstone, and gold. So let's make a little bit of this conduit here. I'm going to put that in a smelter, and then we're going to let's put that right there. Oh, we're running out of power here. Cool. Now, once I have Mekanism running, I probably will stop using these coal generators just because I can connect everything up to the same power. This biogenerator is going to produce a lot of power. So these are generating 60. Remember how I said these are 60 RF per tick? If we come over here, it's 60. This one produces like 320. Maybe not. We'll take a look when it's over there. So let's turn this into alloys. We're going to put a piece of gold, a piece of redstone, and a piece of glowstone. Now we need 3 of these, so let's do 2 more, 2 more, and 2 more. Now, you know how this was smelting 3 at a time? So since there's 3 items per ingot, it's only going to smelt 1 ingot at a time, which is kind of slow, but it's good. It's good. We'll be happy with that. And I think this is done. We'll grab our conduit binder here. Got plenty of conduit binder. Sweet, we have an energetic alloy. And remember, I've already made the item conduit, so let's grab those in case we need them. And remember, those was like you put an ender pearl in here in alloys mode, an ender pearl and iron, and that gives you the stuff you need to make the item conduit. Okay, man, this is slow. So I made both of these because I kind of wanted to show you the comparison. So this is going to be compared to this, and then haven't made it yet, but this is the energy conduit is going to be compared to the universal cable. Okay, now let's go have some fun outside. I hope I don't die. Looks like it's raining. Or about to be dark. Hope it's raining. Yeah, let's hope we don't die. I really need to make some armor. I think that would help out a lot. Now it looks like we're alone out here. Now this area here, this block, so to speak, right here, this is going to be kind of like the staging area. This is going to be where I come into Mekanism and I have all the resources that I have access to. We're going to move our storage system over into here because there's a lot more space. All of my crafting is going to be done here. And then in here is going to be all of the ore duplication and power generation, which is what I wanted to focus on Mekanism. Okay, so let's put this here. Let's put this here for now, just for now. And then we're going to put this here. Okay? No, let's turn it around. This is the, I don't know why, this is like the back and this is the front, so, but it puts it down backwards. Okay, so what our goal is we want to get plant life into here, right? With some, it's got some power in it, so we can use that initially. We want to take that plant life. I wonder, can I dump that? That would be cool. No? Okay. We want to take that plant life. We want to move it from this crusher over into this generator. Now, if you notice, Wayla is calling this a heat generator. It's not a heat generator, it's a biogenerator. Don't pay attention to Wayla when you're looking at Mekanism. For some reason, it doesn't work. I don't know why. Okay, so let's do that. Let's put these in here. This will crush up, and so let me show you what I mean. So let's take the universal cable. We're gonna run it from the green here. And you see how, like, if when I hold this in my hand, you see how it's got like the little green checkers. Oh, come on. Little green checkers pattern, and this has a green checkers pattern. That means this is where the energy goes. So we're going to connect like this. This one doesn't have it. I wouldn't worry about it. But this particular block can only output energy out what I guess they consider the front. So that's, and then if we wanted to transport items, we can't put, if I try to put this here, it won't let me. I'm clicking and it won't let me put the item transfer here. We can put it here, but see, now we're taking up 4 blocks to get this process done, and that's fine. So let's do that real quick. So we're going to set up, what we have to do is come up here to where it says side config, and we're going to want to output. So see how it's colored blue? This is blue. This is the output of the machine. This is the input of the machine because it's red, and then this is the power of the machine. So if we come back here, this would be the bottom slot. So I'm just clicking on. Okay, so this is the bottom, this is the left, this is the top, right, middle, and back. Okay, so just think of, like, if you're looking at the block, this is the middle, this is the front, this is what I'm looking at. Left, right, up, down, makes sense. And then this is the back. Okay, so left and right click to filter through the items, or through the colors. So left click goes what I would call forward, blue, green, back to gray. Okay, gray means none. It won't connect. See how it disconnected here? It kind of ignores power, so I wouldn't worry about that. Okay, so we don't care about input. We're going to manually input it, but we want the output. We want the blue to be on the right-hand side. Okay, so we know that that's connecting now. This doesn't have a configuration. I wouldn't worry about it. So then what we want to do is, if we wanted to be real specific, we could put energy in the back just for our own. And you'll see that nothing's moving. Nothing's working. So if we come back in here to side config, click on auto eject, nothing's moving. And I think it's because you can only input to one side. So let's pick this up. I thought about that briefly. Here, we'll just leave that there. Pick that up, and then we'll move this here, and we'll put this here. Okay. And we'll put that there. Now we want to come in here, and we want to say, okay, well, now let's output the left side. Stuff is working now. See how that's putting out power? So now this is in joules per tick. We want to convert that to RF. So it's 140 RF. So it's more than double. So I just left click on there. That's all I did, is left click to change it to the power that you want. It's 140 RF per tick. That's a pretty good tick rate. So now that it's sending power, you'll see that it's green. It looks really cool. I like that you can see the items moving. If I were to come up here and watch, as soon as this progress bar gets done, it'll kick more over. I like that. I love that this turns green when there's power in it. However, I don't like taking up. Once you get really going into Mekanism, that becomes kind of a problem, in my opinion. Having pipes not able to share the same space. And I know the Mekanism mod maker would probably be screaming at me right now, but I don't think he's ever going to see this video, so I don't care. So what we're going to do instead is we're going to use conduits. So conduits can do the same. Whoa, we just got suddenly dark. That was weird. Let's go sleep, because I think it's actually nighttime now. So So we're going to use conduits, and we're going to accomplish the same thing in a 1 block space instead of a 4 block space. I'll show you exactly how to do that. So you still have to set up the same kind of configuration to where we have to go to output on the left side and stuff like that. So we're going to put the energy conduit. I guess it has to come out the back, doesn't it? So I guess we'll be in a 3 block space. So energy conduit, it's going to already work. And then we're going to take our item conduit and put that there. And then see how it takes up the same space? Isn't that cool? I think that's pretty neat. Okay, so now remember how we have to set up our item conduits. So we're going to set this into input, or insert, and we got to take this to extract without a signal. There you go. And it should stick it in there. It did. So let's stick the rest of this here. I was going to fill this up. You see how the representation of how much biofuel is in there is represented there? Very cool. So let's take our conduit here and run it back. And we're going to fill this up with power. So that's kind of how we're going to be using it. So to transfer between items, we're pretty much going to try and use the same block space as possible. You know, I guess this turned out to be a really bad example because I could just take that out and it's the exact same as it was before. But once you get, trust me, once we get going with this, it'll be different. It'll be better to have it so that we can cross paths. So like if I wanted to bring this energy through here for some reason and bring it up to a machine over here, I wouldn't have to come up and over. I could go straight through. So yeah. So that's Mekanism to start with. I am going to make, I think in the next episode what we're going to do is we're going to get into ore duplication. So I want to get enough of the materials ready that we can go into ore tripling. We already have ore doubling. I want to get into ore tripling. So we're going to take a look at that in the next episode. But for today, I would get into starting at Mekanism that way. All right. And I'm also going to try and work on this a little bit. Get everything set up a little bit to how I want things. There's going to be a lot of rooms in here. This isn't going to look anything like how it looks now. This is going to be the walls here. And just to let you know how to make these laboratory blocks, that's part of Chisel. Remember how we've got that mod Chisel that lets you change the color of, or the shape and look of blocks? Well, it also has its own blocks. So if we come down to laboratory block and we left click on this, it's just solid stone or solid wood and nether quartz. How did I say wood? It's stone and nether quartz. Yeah. So then if we scroll down here a little bit more, where did it go? So these are pretty cool. These are the tumble blocks. Those are made with just stone and dye, and that looks pretty cool. Oh, here we go. Factory blocks. Look at these. They got little fans and like circuitry, and these are pretty neat. These are pretty cool. So these are just made with iron and stone. Yeah, pretty neat looking stuff. So yeah, anyway, so that's it for today. Thanks for watching. We'll see you next time. Have a good night.